it's Katy. And Tiny is around somewhere, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love the
yeah. I'm here. I'm here. Shut up.
love the WAYZ studio. I haven't seen that in a few years. It looks very updated.
What? You haven't seen this beautiful face? Is that what you mean?
No, I've seen that one way too many times. No, the studio looks good. I like
Thank
it.
you. And
I
it's
like.
gonna look. It's getting ready to look a lot better too.
Oh, why is that?
There's something that is going to be in this studio that is just going to bring joy to so many lives
Oh,
that it
wow.
just can't wait for you to see it.
Is
Yeah.
it going to be like just a ray of sunshine kind of coming in there?
Well, so you remember, the picture of the accent wall from my house that you saw. I'm going to take and put those boards up on the wall here.
Uh huh.
So I think it's really going to make it look because there's no texture on this one wall. So
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, a little sunshine, a little brightness always looks good in that studio.
I
So
really
yeah.
don't think that answer is where you thought I was going with that.
No, not
But
at all. Not remotely, but
no,
that's okay. Hey, speaking of looking good, did you notice? Did you notice my hair? I just went to Roots yesterday.
of course I noticed. Anytime Roots does anybody's hair, including mine, it looks better than it ever did before.
So I was at Roots yesterday getting my hair done, and I've decided that this summer is going to be what I'm going to deem hot girl summer because I would like to lose a little bit of weight. I just got my Botox and I actually want to get hair extensions. So I was talking to Katy yesterday about how to do hair extensions, how does it work? And so we're going to be looking at like July. Okay, so here's where I am in my life. Can I bring you up to speed?
Please.
Okay, I'm on day 13 of Whole 30. I'm almost halfway done. So I
Okay.
have not had any kind of dairy, cheese, alcohol, sugar, anything for 13 days.
All right.
And if you've ever done Whole 30 or if you look at the calendar, it kind of tells you based off of how they've surveyed thousands of people who have done this and everybody kind of says, well, this day I feel like this day I feel like this. So there's a calendar that says basically how are you supposed to feel in regards to what most people say each day. So days 9 and 10 are deemed the hardest. So I'm over the hardest. Today and tomorrow, you'll just start dreaming about food. And then as of Sunday, I will be in the phase of what's called tiger's blood, where you just feel like, oh my gosh, I feel great. Nothing's stopping me. But I got to tell you, I'm kind of getting there now. I feel great. I feel really, really good.
Well,
And
good.
it's been like the eating portion hasn't been that difficult. The thing I find more difficult is, especially Saturday, I had my CrossFit competition and I worked really hard for it. I came in second to last place. So not last, so I wanted to
Hey,
celebrate.
you earned it.
I earned it. I worked really hard for that second to last place.
It doesn't matter that the last person was a 90-year-old, whatever.
Right. I mean, I did the best I could, but afterwards, everybody was like popping White Claws, and I was like, no, I'm on Whole 30. I'm good. I'm on Whole 30.
No,
So
I'm on Whole 30. Sorry.
I'm on Whole 30, but thank you. But this Saturday, I'm going to a beer and pretzel festival in Reading. But I committed to this like months ago.
Okay, but why would you do that?
I committed to it months ago, and I'm not going to bail just because of this, what I'm doing. So I talked to Bridget, who I'm going to the festival with, and I just said, listen, I love to go, but I am going to bring my own food and I'm not going to drink. So the only thing I might do is the only thing you can have other than water to drink is raw kombucha. So I might bring a couple kombuchas, put them over ice. So I feel like I'm partaking in the festivities, but I'm just not. So anyway, I'm down 5 pounds on Whole 30. I got my hair done yesterday and I got my Botox done this morning. So my goal is by July 1 to be down to my goal weight, get hair extensions, and have what I'm going to deem a hot girl summer. I'm the hot girl. I'm the hot girl.
That's what I was going to say. So who's the hot girl?
I'm the hot girl.
Or at least you hope to be.
It was so funny. I was at Roots yesterday with Katy and I was telling her about this and she's like, what exactly does that mean, hot girl summer? And I said, well, I'm going to lose some weight. I want to get hair extensions and I'm going to do something to my face. And she was like, do something to your face. Like what exactly does...
me. Oh,
yes,
cover it up.
Get a new one. I don't know.
So let me just say this. So we have hot girl summer. Does that lead into fat girl fall?
Yeah. Well, basically, yeah. I mean, it's going to go from one extreme to the next because then I'm going to be like, take the hair extensions out. I haven't got my Botox. I put on 20 pounds. yeah, we're done. So
Gain weight, win her.
yeah, a gateway winner.
Or
We'll
no,
see what
no,
happens.
wait. Sorry. Weight gaining woman, winter. We could do
Okay,
that.
what do you got for spring? Spring, we're getting back into it.
Uh,
Shed a few pounds spring. Shed a few spring.
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I really don't. I really don't have anything for that one.
Yeah, so I'm feeling really good. I do recommend you know, since I've been talking about it more, I've been meeting a lot of people who have done Whole30. It's really freaking hard. I mean, it's hard. You
Yeah.
can't eat like anything unless it's, you can eat a lot, but it has to be all super organic and no sugar. So
Right. So basically, natural foods. If you want chicken breast, you can have chicken breast, but it's just a chicken breast.
correct, with maybe a little olive oil and salt and pepper. That's it. You can't
Yeah.
put cheese or anything on it. But like the shake that I just made, it is, I put a half of an avocado, a half of a banana. You can have one brand of almond milk because it's the only almond milk that doesn't have anything other than just straight almond milk. And I put a little bit of plant-based protein powder in it, some water, and it's not bad. I mean, I can do it. So I'm almost
It gets you
halfway
over the
there.
hump.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is I'm always craving something sweet after I eat. I'm like, "Oh god, I just want a piece of chocolate." So I'll just drink like a little bit of a plant-based protein shake or something like that just to kind of get that craving gone. But now I'm almost halfway done and it takes 21 days to build a routine, so I feel like I'm almost there.
By the way, did you know the 21 days routine / habit was just this past week debunked?
Go on.
Well, I don't know anything other than I really didn't read the article. Just the gist of it is that was unproven.
So what is the amount of time now?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and research. Not knowing you were going to say that here, I didn't have any reason to think that I would need to retain it.
Well, I mean, unless you give me some scientific backing, I don't believe you, and I'm still sticking to my 21-day rule.
Look,
21
I'm
days.
all for you doing that. I'm simply saying that it was just this week came out in what we call the show prep that doesn't that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, well, you can't back it up with anything, so I'm very disappointed with you. Hey, I got a joke for you. Did
Okay.
you hang on, let me get this right. Did you hear about the oh, hang on. Did you hang on. Did you hear about the butcher who accidentally put his butt in the meat grinder?
Okay.
He got a little behind on his work. Isn't that funny?
My favorite though for you is always the chicken Caesar salad.
Oh my god, that's my all-time favorite.
That's a really good one.
That's how I get people to like me. That's how I started. I'm like, "Hello, my name is Katy. Would you like to hear my favorite joke?" And then people laugh, and then it's like, "Okay, I like this girl. She's all right."
Well, anyway, so other than going to see Katy at Roots and you want a hot girl summer, now what else are we into?
So I had my CrossFit competition. That was the big thing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little just not disappointed. I love my teammates and we did a great job. But when you do it's called Festivus, and Festivus is a competition for people that do CrossFit but aren't like extreme athletes that compete. It's called Festivus
So
for the rest of us. I'm perfect. I'm the
right.
perfect one for Festivus. I'm not, I'm average-ish. I'm okay. But it's a competition for people like me. So there's an intermediate and then there's a novice division. But the problem last year I did the intermediate, which was pretty hard. But for the intermediate this year, you had to be able to do pull-ups, and I can't do pull-ups, and none of my teammates can. So because of that, we all had to sign up for the novice division, which was fine. But we wanted to do the harder workouts. But it was.
I think
fun.
that's where I would be. I'd be in the novice division. I can do like 3 pull-ups. That's it.
Yeah. The weight's just a lot lighter. The workouts are a little bit more scaled than the intermediate, but we had a really great time. And now I'm continuing to train. I'm running a half marathon on May 20th. So a couple weeks. And so I've been trying to, my competition's behind me. Now I'm starting to pick up a little bit more on the training for the half. So lots of things are happening. Good things, all good things.
It is all good things, and life is so good. We have so much getting ready to happen for both of us
Mm-hmm.
that it's difficult for me to to not just gush with everything that we have. We as Tiny and Katy show, as Tiny as an individual, Katy as an individual, and then us together. The podcast itself is, I don't know how I would even say it. I don't even think that we really know. We're going to somehow rebrand it, redo it. It'll always be the Tiny and Katy show, but there's going to be elements that are coming. Again, I'm saying all this because, and knowing at the same time, we don't really know what it's going to look like. We just know that the changes are coming.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah,
and in a good way, not like, oh God, somebody's leaving or somebody's or whatever. It's all very good.
Yeah, I've just been like adulting my ass off here lately because of it, trying to get my house in order because I'm renting my house, trying to look for an apartment and tying up, then I have to talk to my financial, because I'm leaving education. So I have to talk to my financial advisor about my retirement and, my health insurance and all that stuff that I just don't feel like working and dealing with right now. I just don't want to do it. I'm tired of adulting, but here I am. I'm a grown ass woman and I'm living it every day.
And speaking of adulting, just this past week, not this past week, earlier this month, we met with our financial advisor. And I'm not going to go into amounts, but we found out, and we still do very well, don't get me wrong, but there was a considerable amount, because I don't know if you do this with your financial advisor or anyone listening does this, but he brings up this screen and you go through what your monthly expenses are. So it'd be your subscriptions, your this, your that, your groceries, your entertainment, so on and so forth. And you put in your best estimate to what those things are. So we've been operating on these numbers for the past few years and come to find out that based on what both of us make, obviously together, there's a considerable amount of money that's unaccounted for. And
well, you have a kid. I feel like that just, when you have a kid, that's where all, probably that chunk of money that you don't know where it is, that's probably where it's going. Don't you think?
Yes, but there's two places that I know of that the money's going. Number one is Amazon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Far and above.
Yep.
Because it's so easy that just to click buy, it comes the next day. And it's Amazon, I do believe, is its own addiction.
Yes, I agree.
Period.
And okay, go on, and then I'll come back with what I think.
And the second is right here.
Yeah.
Right here.
That's your Sheets coffee, I'm assuming?
Yeah, and I have become very addicted to their mochas. I don't know why. They're just the best thing in the world. I love them. But I've got to find a different workaround, because the thing is, I don't necessarily have a problem with the base cost of their mocha. So this right here, I think, is like $3.50, $4, somewhere around there. Now, don't get me wrong. That's high, especially for somebody who's not I rail against Starbucks. I think it's swill, but whatever. But when you get the add-ons that I get for this thing, the sugar-free this, sugar-free that, I mean, it's like $7.
Does the sugar-free this and the sugar-free that have sorbitol in it?
Well, it may, but I believe I've become desensitized to it. So let's tell that little story, shall we?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Just
so
forewarning. I mean, Tiny and I both like pooped our pants, and that's where we're going with the story.
Yeah. So this is, if you are easily just grossed out, then you're going to want to just tune out at this point. So years ago, I had done a weight loss program, and Katy and I had, prior to that, drank coffee. I bring it every morning, and we found that we wanted lattes. The latte that we could have was a Sheets soy latte, and I thought, well, I'm going to order this thing. Why not get it with sugar-free chocolate and sugar-free vanilla and all this kind of stuff? So
sugar-free always sounds good in theory, but for it to taste good, there's some kind of supplement in there that is giving you the sweetness. That is not necessarily good for your body.
So this day that I get these two lattes for us so that we can try them, very good. Don't get me wrong. Loved them.
Very good.
And Katy had a dentist appointment.
Yeah. So we had a meeting. We had a promotions. We were at a bowling alley. I remember, I don't know why we were at a bowling alley. Everybody from the radio station was there. We had a meeting.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah. That's where you brought it. We were at a bowling alley doing some meeting. You brought me this latte, and then I had to leave and go to a dentist appointment. Now, luckily, where I was going, they knew me very well. I was friends with everybody, because it was quite an unfortunate situation that took place in the dentist chair. Go on.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I mean, as far as I knew, and for me, everything was fine. Katy, however, calls me afterwards, and she says, "Tiny, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, okay. Why?" And she goes, "Well, I'm not."
I thought I was going to die. I really did.
Now
I
I'm
thought I
going to
was
let
going
you,
to die.
because you
Okay.
obviously were there. Why don't you describe what
Okay.
happened, and then we'll
Okay.
fill everybody in on what caused this.
So essentially, to try to keep it to as much of a PG rating, I'm in the dentist chair and my belly is it's starting to cramp really bad, and I'm feeling all these really bad cramps. I'm like, oh my god, my stomach hurts so bad. And then all of a sudden, do you know how like when your stomach, when you have like belly issues,
Diarrhea.
it makes that like
The
sound
gurgling.
to it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and people can hear it. So I'm in the dentist chair and it starts making that sound, and my belly's like and it keeps going, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not good. This is not a good situation, to the point where the hygienist looks at me and she's, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I was like,
Mind you,
I'm
they're
not.
in your mouth.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm okay or not. I'm just not sure. Let's continue with the appointment, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. So about 5 or 10 minutes go by, and I'm literally going to poop my pants in that dentist chair. Like, I was like, you've got. I stopped her. I said, look. This is really embarrassing, but I have to just let you know, if you don't let me get to that bathroom, I'm going to poop in this chair right here. Like,
Now, mind
I've
you,
got to go.
Katie's telling me this story in far more colorful language,
Oh, of course.
and I'm
Absolutely.
dying.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
because I'm fine.
and so
I'm absolutely fine.
I go to the bathroom. There were some issues, and I had to stop the appointment. I said, I can't sit back down in that chair. We're gonna have to continue this later. I've got to go home. So on my way home from the dentist, which was in Waynesboro,
Yep.
to where I was living in Hagerstown, which is what, like a 20-minute drive.
Right across from HCC. Yep.
I stopped at 7 different gas stations, 7 of them.
And I didn't know there were 7 on the way there. But
And
mind you, she found them.
I was dying. Like, I really thought that I had food poisoning or something. I was so ill. So finally I get back home.
I think, I'm sorry to interject this. I think you thought, now that I think back, and you mentioned about the bowling alley thing, we had lunch there.
We did.
And I think you thought, because you asked, the latte never dawned on us. And I think that you thought it was something with the food, and we ate the same thing. So, Tiny, are you okay? Then something's really wrong here. It all boiled down to I went online and did research, and the sugar-free chocolate that they use, and still to this day use, has sorbitol in it.
And sorbitol is used as a laxative. It is used as
in a medical field.
Mm-hmm.
If it sounds to you like it's a medical name, like sorbitol, it's because it's a medical name.
Yeah. And so I'm sick to my stomach. I'm at home. I'm calling Tiny. I'm like, what the hell did you do to me today? Like, I'm out of commission for the day. And it was funny because I was telling the story to Bridget, my best friend Bridget, and she was on this kick years ago on sugar-free lifesavers, and she was eating them all the time. And the same thing happened to her. Her belly got really upset. She thought she had food poisoning, and it turns out it's sorbitol. So just a word to the wise, if you are doing anything sugar-free, check the ingredients. If you see sorbitol, either, proceed with caution or just use a minimal amount, because I mean, it is not fun to poop your pants. Like, it's happened to everybody in some capacity. One of my girlfriends, it happened to her when she was on a canal ride in Amsterdam. Like, these things happen and they are not fun.
Well, I remember I got a double chocolate too. And I think that's what did it. Now, I have become, I guess, desensitized to it, because between that and I chew a heck of a lot of gum, so I don't know that it really affects me like that anymore. But to put a bow on this story, so I'm telling Katie, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong with me. We're good. Later that evening, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I mean, like, to the point where, because I was home and I was laughing, I was carrying on, I was making fun of Katie, and I was telling Mary, like, that girl is crapping her butt off as we speak. Literally. And apparently she can't hang, she can't take it. I must have built up a tolerance to it, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was I was probably asleep for an hour, and next thing I know, my stomach jumped like there was a baby in it. And I mean, like, oh God.
I know. It's that, like, gurgle sound that happens, and you know that the following situation is not going to be a pleasant one for it. And
the opening volley was one for the record books. I mean, it was just crazy bad.
I have stomach issues to begin with. Like, I'm always having stomach issues, so throw in some sorbitol, and it is not ending well for me at all.
No, never.
But yeah, so I definitely stay away from sorbitol. So on the Whole30, I don't do anything sugar-free. Like, that's one thing that I have definitely learned my lesson. negative on the sorbitol. I feel like we were talking about something before we went into the story about the latte. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So you were talking about how you're finding that you're
Oh
spending
yeah,
on Amazon and on your coffee. The
yeah.
one thing I've noticed, because I'm doing this Whole30, so I'm not able to stop and grab something very quickly like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of going through the same thing. I'm realizing how I spend my money slowly in small ways that I don't even think about, and
Yeah.
man, does it add up, because
Oh
the
god.
only thing I buy now is whatever I'm eating for the week. There are no extras. There is no bar tab if I'm going out to with my friends, because I'm not drinking anything.
Right.
So it is kind of eye opening when you really, really do sit down and think about, where is my money actually going? All
Yeah,
of those little small things, they add up. They really do.
and we had to analyze everything and say, look, we need to account for it. It'd be different if it was like, say, $1,000, $2,000, whatever. Okay, I'm not downplaying how much money that is. I'm simply saying that you can overlook that in extra expenditures when you spread it out over 12 months and whatever.
Right.
But we're talking about a fairly substantial amount that, to me, I'm like, no, there's no way. Come on. But now credit cards, to their credit, pardon the pun. I only have one, excuse me, one credit card, which is the Discover card, and I'm sure other ones do this, so I'm sure it's not unique to them. But you go on and they have a spend analyzer, and it shows you what you're spending this money on. So I went on last week. Now this is the funny part. Just since April 15th, I'd spent. It showed like $200 at Sheetz for gas. Now I don't use.
And you don't work far from the station, so it's not like you're driving all over the place.
Correct. Nor do I use the Discover card for gas. I use the main household credit card for that. Now I have it's my personal Discover card, so let's just put it that way. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, something's wrong. I do not get gas. Well, here, because the purchase of these were made at Sheetz, it recognizes it as a gas purchase because
and
it's a gas station.
Every day you're stopping to buy one? Every day you're doing it?
Yeah. And a lot of times, so here's the way it happens. When I go to the gym in Hagerstown, on the way home, I have an order that I set up to where I pick one up for me, pick one up for Mary. So we're talking like $12 there. Then what I'll do is, usually on the way to work, I'll pick up another one for me. So call it roughly $20 a day, right? On these things. And that's ridiculous. $20 a day.
No, your math's not adding up. You said they were $3.50 a piece.
Right, but with the add-ons, they're around $7. That's what I'm saying.
For one drink, there's
for one.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wow. So it's not. And look, and I know that.
What are you adding on for an extra $3? What are you?
Well,
adding?
Of course, now they're going to overcharge for every little thing that we might think is minuscule. But if you get,
what are you getting?
So if you get a squirt of sugar-free vanilla, a squirt of sugar-free caramel, of which I do, and just those two things, I think, are like $1.50 for each thing.
For each squirt?
Look, I'm not saying that it's a good deal. I know it's not, and it's not that it's breaking the bank, but it's breaking the bank. I mean, look, when you look at $20 a day, 365 days a year, that's almost $7,000 in these. Wow. And I guarantee you, at the end of a year, I would look back and say, I'd rather have the $7,000 than the joy that I got for those moments of having these.
You know what, though? Listen, pick your thing that makes you happy and go with it. People talk to me all the time.
Well, if that's the case, Katie, it would be you.
That what?
You said pick your thing that makes you happy and go with it. That would be you.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thanks, Tiny. I know you don't mean that, so I'm going to just keep moving on with my conversation. But like sometimes people talk to me about like how much I spend on the gym because, CrossFit is not the cheapest workout option, but it brings me so much happiness. It brings me so much joy. It's worth it.
And I would shut that down quicker. I would, if you were in a conversation and I just happened to be sitting there and someone said that to you, I would jump to your defense before you even had a chance to say a word.
Yeah.
Because you cannot put a price tag on. I mean, yeah, you can put a price tag on everything. Now, I understand if your gym was like $500 a month and you simply can't afford that, whatever. But if it's not breaking you, how dare anyone judge and say, well, you need to cut out the gym. Oh, okay. So the beer's not a problem, but the gym is.
Everybody has their thing that they spend excessively on because it makes them happy. Yours is coffee, mine's the gym. Some people, I mean, I don't, some people it's clothes. Some people love to spend a
Yeah.
lot of money on clothes. The other thing I do spend money on, and it is expensive, but I love it, is my Botox. Like Botox is expensive, but I have tried every single product you could possibly imagine. And I think about the money that I'm spending on all these products when I could just go once every 3 months and spend the $200 to get Botox, and I love it. It's the
And this
only
is,
thing.
I'm sorry, this is for the crow's feet?
I do it here because here's the thing. I'm not really into I'm not into I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say plastic surgery, but I'm not into artificial, like I
Cosmetic
don't
stuff,
need
yeah.
I don't need to get fake lashes. I don't need to get, my makeup. I barely wear makeup. I'm pretty easy. I'm a very low maintenance woman. I am. But
Well,
that is the one depending on who you ask.
depends on what your version of maintenance is.
That is the one thing that as I'm aging really, really bothers me.
Yeah.
And I don't care about these, like the ones on my forehead. I don't care about those wrinkles. Those are fine. It's these right here around my eyes. I've had them forever. It's a
Yeah.
Dickinson thing. We all get these wrinkles around our eyes. And with the amount of money that I spend on product, I'd rather just go get the Botox. I know it works. It's quick. I'm in and out. And it is the one cosmetic thing that I do that
Yeah.
makes me feel better about myself, and I think that's okay. That's an okay
I'm all
treat
for
to
it.
give
I
to
really
that.
am.
Yeah.
If that makes you feel better, I would never look. I don't judge anybody on the amount that they spend. Now, if you get in a conversation with me and you try to figure out like where am I, because I had to have the conversation with myself. I had to judge myself and say it doesn't take a genius to figure out genius where all this money is just being flushed down the toilet. And there's a lot of things I've always said, which this amazes me. So I keep going back to this, but this is the key here, and this is the biggest symptom of an underlying problem, and that is I've always said, why would I, for instance, flat iron steaks? Katie loves my flat iron steaks.
Oh,
I have been
Tiny
craving
makes
those.
the best flat
Oh
irons
my god!
with asparagus. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Now
So good.
this all comes from a meal that I would always get at Longhorn Steakhouse, and finding flat iron steaks is not easy to find. So there's a butcher shop in Chambersburg. They have them. I get them, and I buy the actual Longhorn dust, and make those with asparagus. So what I have done is I've been able to recreate my favorite meal at one of my favorite restaurants at home for, my goodness, like what? I don't know, a third of the price, if that. Point is, my motto is, why would I go pay for something I can make at home?
Mm-hmm.
And I could easily make something like this at home. And yet, for whatever reason, nope, I'm just going to get on the app, and I'd just much rather drop $15.
Well, I think it's also a convenience thing. It is. I mean, I'm not that. It's not that expensive, but I drink the hell out of seltzer waters.
Mm-hmm.
I probably drink 4 seltzer waters a day. I
Right.
have an addiction. I mean, thank God it's not soda, but I have an addiction to like LaCroix. I drink.
You know what? I just thought of something. I think that as we record this is Thursday, the 27th. I think that Katie's might be coming over to the house on Sunday. Should we have flat iron steaks?
I would love to have flat iron steaks, honey, but can I finish my story? And could you not be rude?
Well, no flat iron steak for you. Move along.
I was just, you know what? It doesn't even matter now. My
It doesn't
train of
matter.
thought is gone. I just love LaCroix, and I know you gave me you gave me a broken seltzer water maker thing.
Wasn't broken.
Yeah, it doesn't work. I tried it and it does not work. And I was like, you know what? I'm sure I can make this at home, but I'd rather go to Costco and spend the $10 on the 32 of them.
Okay, wait a minute. I gave Katie one of those soda streams, okay?
Yeah, it's broken. It is so broken.
Now, I don't think it's broken. I think you're making the same mistake that I made at first. You got to hold that thing down for a long time to put enough gas in that water to make it work.
Yeah,
and that's not a problem. That's not an issue. It's not like it's broken that you have to do that. That's literally what the directions say. I thought to myself, well, I do it for like 2 seconds and then boom, you're done. Oh no, you gotta like lay on that thing for about like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
For it to put enough in there. So try that again because I think you're missing out.
I got rid of it. I'm sorry. I got rid of it. I I tried it like twice. Get those out of here. Get those out of here. I tried it like twice and I'm like, this is broken. And I threw it out and I just continued buying my LaCroix.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
I do love my seltzer waters. I am like
Okay.
and they are Whole30 approved, thank God. So,
Okay.
that's where I am in my life right now.
All right. Well, hey, we got to run. 30 minutes goes by faster than you think. We will talk to you again next week on the Tiny and Katy Show, powered by Roots Hair Design, Route 11 in Marion. We love you.
It's the Tiny and Katy Show.